everyone, and welcome to this yin class on Wednesday. Today, the focus of the yin class will be mainly on the hips. So we will do a different range of motion of the hips. We will move the hips in all the different actions that they can move in all the different directions. So we'll start by lying on the back. First thing, bringing the soles of the feet together, lifting the hips so you can have your lower back flat on the floor. If this is a bit too intense, you can have a couple of blocks or cushions underneath. We'll focus on the breath, so breathing deeply into your belly. You can have the hands on the bellies. You can follow the rise and fall, or having your hands along the body. And the feet don't have to be super close to the body. Breathing fully through the nose, observing how the belly rises, exhaling fully. Again, breathing in through your nose, exhaling completely. You can keep going at your own pace, following your breath, your own rhythm. Letting the body soften with every inhalation and with every exhalation. You can slowly extend your legs one by one. Extend the arms over your head. Stretch the whole body, breathing through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And we bend the knees. We can roll over to the side, any side. And when you're ready, you can find your way to a comfortable seat, either on the floor or on a cushion. So we start our practice with one Om. We take a deep breath in through the nose. And slowly open the eyes. We'll start straight away with our first yin shape. We're going into a butterfly. It can be a long-legged butterfly, so the feet are far away from your body, or you can have the feet closer to your body. This will stretch more in the groins. The long-legged butterfly will be less intense on the groins, but more targeting more the lower back. You choose. And when you have your placement of the legs, you can fold over. If the spine is okay, if there's no slip disc, you can round your spine. If there's problems with slip disc or with sciatica, it's better to keep a neutral spine. And you can also have support, like I have this nice bolster here. You can have a bolster to fall over. That's very nurturing, feels really nice. And I'll put the timer so that we know how long we are in the posture. We'll stay for a few minutes, just allowing the body to soften into the gravity, letting the time and the gravity open up the body very gently. We don't use any muscular effort in the yin. We keep all the muscles soft so that the stretch can go into the connective tissues that's deeper than the muscles. So we keep the muscles cool, and the stretch is going into the deeper layers of the body. So once we find our posture where we know we can stay for time, we just allow the body to surrender into the posture. It's a practice of patience, of long holds, of observing the mind. It's a mindfulness practice. We can use each pose as a mini meditation, as a mini mindful practice. So here in this pose, we are flexing the hips, and we also have an external rotation of the hips. Observe how the sensations are changing as the minutes go by, as the minutes are passing. The sensations maybe increase or maybe they decrease. Just observe with mindfulness what is there. And if at any point you feel like coming out of the pose, you can always come out. You always have the choice when the body says it's enough, you can come out. But if there's no pain, if there's just a slight discomfort, we try and stay in the posture a bit longer. In the last few seconds in the pose, we take a full inhalation through the nose And we exhale completely. We can push the earth away with the hands, moving very slowly. It's normal to feel very fragile after a long haul like this. So we move gently. It's okay. We put the hands under the knees to bring them together. We extend the legs. We stay there for a moment in the what we call the rebound. That's when the body integrates all the benefits of the pose. And from here, you will gently move into our next pose, not the butterfly, but the dragonfly. So it's another flexion for the hips. We spread the legs wide. It doesn't have to be super wide. It can be from 90 degrees to 180, depend on your structure, on your bones. So no need to widen at your maximum capacity. If it's very difficult to sit straight, if we feel like we're pulling back, we can bend the knees, can even put the feet on the floor, keep the knees bent, and that will make easier to fold over. If the knees have some discomfort in the inside of the knees, just bring your legs a bit closer together. So I'm going to do this because I have some pain here on the inside of the knee. So bring my legs a bit closer together. You can sit on the cushion. It also helps to bring the pelvis forward, makes it easier to fold. Once we have our posture, we fold forward until the body stops naturally. And we don't force the body into the posture, we just allow the body to come forward either on the forearms, or maybe we are supporting on the arms, or we can have again our bolster to lie on top of it, or we can use it as a support like this for the forehead. Maybe for a few minutes here. If there's any disc problems, any hernia problems in the back, we don't round the back, we keep it neutral as much as possible. And we just wait for the time to open up the body. It's always better to be for longer in the posture with less intensity than too much intensity in shorter time. The yin tissues that we are working on, the ligaments, the tendons, those are the yin tissues in our body. They're deeper. They need time. They are more dense. So they move very, very slowly. It's like putting braces on the teeth. It needs time and a gentle, continuous pressure. That's the way to exercise the yin tissues. We soften our neck and shoulders in case we were holding unnecessary tension around them. We soften the jaw. And we notice where are the sensations, where is it more intense in my body. In yin, we are creating a state of inner peace, inner calm, allowing for the body to process emotions. We're giving this space for ourselves to process everything that happened during the day. Last few seconds in the pose, we breathe deeply from the nose and we exhale. And we come very slowly out of the pose. We move the yin way, there's no rush. The slower we move, the better. We'll just first bring the hands behind our back to ease the hips. If you have some props, you can put them away. You can, with your hands, you can help your knees to bend and bring them closer together. You may wish to stay in stillness or maybe do some windshield wipers. And we come into our next pose. Come into a shoelace. So being mindful of your knees. We will cross the right leg. We start with crossing the right leg over the left leg. If the knees are fine, we can also bend the leg that's underneath. It's the left leg. So we have like one knee more or less on top of the other. Doesn't matter if they're not exactly one on top of the other. If one sit bone is up in the air, we use a cushion to sit on top of it. And this might be enough rotation, that the hips are in external rotation here. Maybe this is enough intensity. You can stay here. If you want more juiciness, you'll fold forward. But be mindful that the knees are not complaining. We'll stay for a few minutes on each side. It's quite an intense pose, so feel free to back off. You don't have to go full power. Going deeper doesn't mean it will be more beneficial. It could even be the contrary. So it's better to back off a bit, not to go 100% of your capacity, but maybe 80%, 70%, and rest and marinate in the pose. It's the time that we spend in the pose that will have a deeper effect on our tissues, on strengthening them, strengthening our connective tissue, our joints. See if you're holding to any unnecessary tension around your neck, shoulders, the jaw, and release that. Be aware, become aware of your thoughts. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts going? Just observe. If at some point during the pose you feel the sensations are disappearing because the body is opening up, you may want to go a bit deeper. But if you're fine where you are, you don't need to move. We take a full deep breath in through the nose, exhaling fully And pushing with the hands on the floor, we will walk the hands towards the body. You can release your upper leg gently, being mindful of your knee. You can extend your legs in front of you, taking a moment for the rebound, observing the difference between both sides, observing the rush, the flash of energy. And when you're ready, we can go to the other side. So now we cross the left leg on top. If the knees are fine, we can also bend the leg that's underneath, so the right knee. Notice if this side feels a bit different, maybe a bit tighter. For me, it's definitely much tighter. So my knees are really far away from each other, but that's fine as long as we feel it in the hips, the external rotation of the hips, and not on the knees. The knees are not the targeted area. The targeted area is the external rotation of the hips. That will release also lower back pain. If there's compression on the lower back, we can ease that through the external rotation of the hips. And you can stay up or you can fold forward, but keeping both sit bones on the floor, keeping to 70-80% of your maximum capacity. So we allow for the body to take its time, as much time as needed, to open up. It's like a flower. The flower will bloom in its own time. We cannot force it to open up. Same with the body. We have to respect the timing. And we soften. If you feel like the body is opening up, you can maybe go deeper if the body is inviting you. Otherwise, stay where you are. There's no need to go deeper if the body is not inviting you. Only if it feels like We'll stay for the last few seconds in the pose, breathing deeply through the nose and exhaling fully. And we'll gently come out of the pose, moving very slowly as we extend the upper leg, extend both legs. You always have the option to stay in stillness. You can massage your knees if you're feeling it there. You can stay in stillness, or you can do any movement that feels good for your body, rolling side to side, or the windshield wipers, or the downward facing dog. Any movement that would feel right and spontaneous. And we'll go to come on the knees for the next one. We'll come into a dragon. So we'll have a few options for the dragon here. Let's start into all fours. We'll bring our right foot between both hands. If the back knee is not very comfortable, we can pad it and put some cushion underneath. Feels much better. So we can stay here with the hands on the floor on either side of the front foot. We'll stay there for the first few minutes, allowing for the hips to soften. So we want the hips to be forward. We don't want the hips to stay back, but to bring them forward. So we feel the intensity on the front hip and also on the hip flexor of the back leg. We can also have the hands on blocks. I will make it a bit less intense. Keep breathing. So after the first few moments in the pose, you can see if it feels okay to come up, keeping both hands on top of the front thigh. It will become more intense, a bit more young. So be mindful. And anytime it feels too intense, you can release. Be mindful of the front knee and the back knee. And remember to bring the hips forward. And for the last moments of the pose, we can bring the left hand on the floor and open the right foot to the side. You can come on the edge, on the outside edge of the foot, and come into a twist. So the right hand is pressing on the right knee. We can have the left hand on the block, and we are twisting over the right. Breathing deeply here. Just for a few more seconds here. Inhale fully. Exhaling completely. And we release, bringing the right foot back on the mat. We bring the hips back. We slide the front foot back, and we come into all fours. And if that feels right, you can come into a downward facing dog for a moment. And come back into all fours. And we do the other side. So if you know you need some padding under the back knee, bring your cushion there. Have your blocks nearby. And we'll step from all fours. We step the left foot forward between the hands. We'll stay there for the first moments. So bringing the back knee back and the hips forward. We can have the hands on the floor or on blocks on different heights. We have different heights of the blocks. And this would be like a baby dragon. You can stay in this first option for all the cycle. You don't need to go further. But if it's fine, if it feels okay, you can come up, having your hands on top of the front thigh, bringing the hips forward and the back knee back. For the grown-up dragon, after the baby dragon. And for the last moments, we can open the left foot towards the left. We can come on the edge, the outside edge of the left foot. Bring the right hand on the block or on the floor. And bring the left hand on the knee, coming into twist towards the left side. So this will change the sensations on the hip. We bring also a rotation in the spine. And you can always make a fist with your hand if there's discomfort on your wrist. And you can look up. Just a few more seconds in the pose, breathing deeply and exhaling fully. And to come out, we bring the left hand back on the floor. We bring the left foot back on the mat and we slide the left foot back into all fours. And you can come into some movement if that feels okay, and extending your legs, coming into a downward facing dog. From here, we will come into a brief child's pose. After the yang of the dragon, we come into some stillness with the child's pose, either with the knees wide or knees together. You can have the head on the floor or on a cushion, softening. Breathing into your hips, noticing the sensations. If there's too much sensation on the hips, you can widen your knees, bring them wide apart. And as we inhale and come back, moving slowly. We're coming to our next pose. It's called the deer. So here we have an external rotation and an internal rotation. So we come into the deer from the butterfly. We will keep the right leg into the butterfly as it is, and the left leg we're going to bring it back. So the front knee is coming next to the right foot. So this hip is in internal rotation, this hip is in external rotation. We keep the front foot flex, and we can start bringing the feet wider apart as long as the sit bones are on the floor. When we feel the sit bones start coming up, we stop. So for me, this is enough. And here, we can fold over the front knee. Or you can fold more over the right foot, the front foot. It will depend where do you feel the intensity. Where do you feel the stretch? Or more over the knee. This will have different sensations. You can choose where you want to fold. And stay not too long. Stay for a few minutes on each side. Being mindful of both knees. We don't want to have sensations on the knees, but here we are feeling it on the hips. It's also an intense glute stretch. And stay mindful of your sensations, of your breath. And you can keep your neck soft. You can release the head down if that feels okay on your neck. Keep observing your sensations as they appear, as they keep changing in your body. We have just a few more seconds in the pose, fully breathing through the nose, and exhaling fully. And we release, walking the hands back, even if the temptation to come out of the pose quickly is there. We just make it so that we come out very, very slowly. And for counter pose, we can do the windshield wiper. So it's just reversing movement where we internally rotate one hip and we externally rotate the other. And when you're ready, you go to the other side. Again, starting from the butterfly. Now we keep left the left leg as it is, and we're going to bend the right knee, bring the right foot back, and the right knee is next to the left foot, the front foot. And we start separating the feet, bringing the feet away from the body. until one sit bone, usually it's the sit bone from the back leg starts lifting, and then we stop. So we have internal rotation in the back leg and external rotation in the front leg. And then we can fold over, either over the shin, or we can fold over the foot or over the knee. And then we'll all have a different sensation in your hips. Be mindful which way works best for you, which way is better for your knee, so you don't have any pressure on your knee, targeting the hips. Maybe this side is different, maybe you need something different. You can adjust the pose on each side. It doesn't have to be exactly the same on both sides. We can anytime adjust the pose to our needs. And we stay for time. Last few seconds in the pose. We breathe fully. Exhale completely. We can slowly come out, pushing the earth away with the hands. Slowly come back to the center. And we can do the windshield wipers to release. You're ready. You can come to lie on your back. Slowly moving to come to lie on the back and hug the knees to your chest. And you can massage your lower back. You can keep the hands one on each knee and a circle. the knees to massage your hips. Bring the feet on the floor. We open the feet as wide as the mat, and we bring the knees towards each other in the constructive rest pose. Just resting there for a moment. And you can walk the feet back to the center of the mat, slide one foot, slide the other, extending both legs and preparing for the final Shavasana, making yourself cozy and warm. So take anything you need, a blanket. You can put a bolster underneath your knees. That's very comforting for the lower back. And relax your feet, relax your legs, relax your knees, relax the hips and the lower back. You can send some love to your hips, soften the belly and your chest and the heart in your chest. Relax the arms, the shoulders and the neck, and soften all the facial muscles, the jaw, the tongue, the space between the eyebrows and the forehead. And let the body be heavy on the floor and fully supported by the earth. With nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just relax and let the body absorb all the benefits of today's practice. And slowly you can bring your awareness back into your body, moving your feet, wiggling your fingers, moving your head from side to side, extending the arms over your head and stretching the whole body. And bend the knees to roll over to the side. And taking your time at your own pace. Whenever you feel ready, you can find your way to a comfortable seat. There's no rush. And we'll finish our practice together with one Om, taking a deep breath in through the nose. Om. You can bring the palms together, wrap them. You can bring the palms on top of your eyes. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, bring the palms together. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind attention, for your practice, for taking this time for yourself. I hope you enjoyed the class. I'm currently teaching a teacher training for Yin, and it's so much fun. So I'm deep diving into all the concepts. So maybe I was talking a lot in the class, but it's just I'm carried away by the excitement of it all. I hope it was valuable information for you, and I'll see you soon.